Yeah, so it's My Spiritual Journey, Season 2, Episode 2. The first episode with Jordan, who I've seen to come on. There's Jordan. Episode 2 is with James Bucknell, the Psychic Medium Live. Going to have a chat to him about his beliefs, his spiritual journey so far, what cards he uses, all those sort of things. How he works, what his belief system is. What is My Spiritual Journey about? Oh, basically, at the beginning of the year, I did a My Spiritual Journey. It basically just getting. Oh, here we go. So James is here. Good evening, James.
Can't see anybody.
Hello.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, James?
Hi.
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I'm a bit confused with this thing and I haven't held this phone. I've gone onto my live and
Yeah.
I've, I've sent an invite. So does it share both lives?
Yeah, it does. Basically, the people watching your side can see you, and the people watching my side can see you as well, and the people watching your side can
Right.
see me. So it's a dual live, so they can see both of us and have a chat. And yeah, it's great. Thank you so much for coming on such short notice. I'm looking forward to speaking to you because it's going to be really good. As you know, as I've messaged you about my spiritual journey, really is about your spiritual journey, your belief systems, and how you work. And I'm really interested to get to know you and hopefully learn some new things as well that I don't understand or never knew before. So I've got if you're happy for James, are you happy for some questions at the end of this, or would you rather not?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the lighting. I'm just in the laundry room at the moment, but it's just an
Oh,
empty
you
room.
bless you.
And it's just, I've got a bright light, but it would be too bright. But you
You're
can
a
see
cute
me,
guy.
can't you still?
Of course I can. Yeah, you look wonderful. Please don't worry. It's all
Right.
right. You're great. Welcome everybody to My Spiritual Journey, Season 2, Episode 2. The Psychic Medium Live, James Bucknell is with me here, and gratefully he's come on this evening to share his spiritual journey so far. So, James, if you could describe yourself in 3 to 5 words, what would you say?
Um, Oversensitive, spiritual, bit of a bad attitude. Um, no, but it combines together. Two more things would be I don't know. I love fashion more than anything in the world.
Yeah,
What else is there? God knows.
the tough questions is like it is a tough question to
There's a
describe
loudmouth
yourself.
sometimes.
Okay, so your spiritual journey you're on now, that um, did it begin when you were younger, or is it later in life that you've discovered your spiritual journey, or was it like a spiritual awakening for you? What actually happened?
Yeah, well, I'm 42 now. um, it wasn't until my late 20s, early 30s that it started to show itself. Even though when I was 16, 17, I used to read all the spiritual books from all the well-known mediums that have passed. I used to do a lot of healing. I used to love reading about nutrition and vitamin healing in my teens. Couldn't get enough books. And then I
Yeah,
just, everyone that knew me knew I was very spiritual.
yeah,
But a lot of my friends and things, they didn't understand what I would,
yeah, yeah,
perceive as heaven and things. A lot of them would just party and take drugs, and not everyone, but they would just think you've got to live for now and enjoy life while you can because it will soon be over. Whereas I didn't see it like that. I saw it as it goes
yeah,
on forever. So
yeah,
mm,
yeah. So before is there any of your family
oh
spiritual as
sorry,
well?
I'm forgetting the question. My mum is somebody that's my mum thought, well, she likes to call herself a psychic. But when I was a child, she would have psychics around.
Yeah,
Um, One of them mentioned something about me and the internet later on in life, but the internet didn't even exist when I was 10.
yeah,
So there was something about that. My great nana came to me in a reading once and said she used to do a little bit of this back in her day, but apparently she did. I heard that, but no one else really, no,
mm.
not that.
So do you believe that you're born with the gift, or do you think you can develop it as well? What's your feelings on it?
You're born with it to the point where you don't have to do. As a natural medium, there's nothing that I needed to develop,
Yeah,
but you still advance yourself basically by
yeah,
getting better at it by developing and training. It's just basically training.
yeah. So at the age of 16 and things like that, what was the world like for you then? Because you were quite spiritual and you read lots of books. How did you feel in that spiritual world? Because not a lot of your friends, you said, didn't understand you or were taking drugs. Did it feel isolating for you, or did you feel comfortable that you're on this journey on your own?
I don't mean everyone were taking drugs around me. It's just a
Yeah,
particular friend, someone else. But because drugs is a common thing anyway for
yeah,
people.
yeah. Totally agree with you. Yeah, yeah.
Um, what was the question? I keep forgetting the question.
No, it's all right. I'll repeat. Just at the age of 16, you're having this spiritual development. Did you feel that you're on your own in it, or did you feel comforted by reading the books
Oh,
or other people?
at the young age, I didn't have no idea. It was basically, I knew what was coming up in my 20s. I knew I would meet a certain family. I knew certain things would happen, and I've gone past them things. I saw some difficult things as well that I dreamt and just knew would happen, and they did. I knew that I would go to nursing college. I dreamt they were putting papers in front of me, and I was signing the papers. And at the time, I'd left school at 14. And
Yeah,
I just thought, there's no way am I going to go to university to do nursing, thinking it's a really big thing. You've got to be really clever.
yeah,
And I ended up doing things like that. So I saw a lot of things that I was supposed to do, but I had no idea of the ability to connect
yeah,
until later on. And I suppose the way that I was when I was younger reading the books, I mean, you don't have to be a medium to enjoy spiritual books
yeah. This is
and
true.
mediumship books. That itself, you're reading the stories. There wasn't so much YouTube at that time. Um, so it wasn't until my early 30s that I started to grasp it
Yeah,
and notice something was happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
So from that 16 to 30, would you say those are the years with the teaching and learning you were having? To not sorry, I don't mean learning, but
I know what you mean.
what's the word I'm looking for is pushing yourself further into what you knew was naturally going to come to you.
Yeah. Well, I knew things were going to happen, which they did. But when I read the Gordon Higginson book, you've heard of Gordon Higginson?
Do you know what? I honestly haven't. So you're going to have to educate me if you wouldn't mind. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, the Spiritual National Union,
Right.
he was the president of that.
Okay.
And I think he passed 80s or something like that. And he's got videos on YouTube of him in the spirit churches, demonstrating his evidence,
Yeah.
etc. He's got a book called On the Side of Angels, and that book to me was a mini Bible because it said things like everything that we did before you became aware, we did ready for when you are aware. For example, I've taken vitamin C since I was like 16,
Yeah.
which is like 20 something years on and off. I've always taken vitamins.
Yeah.
So it's like even fasting. I was doing fasting long before I knew I could
Yeah.
communicate. So it's like when you read that book, it explains we had you fasting, we had you looking after your nutritious side of things. We did that for you, and when I was reading them things, I thought, well, I was doing them long before I even knew of this ability. So
Yeah.
the guides, the mediumship itself belongs to the guides.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's not my doing. I'm just here to facilitate that as the human being on this
Yeah.
side. Everything that's going to be for example, they could see a bit further on than me. And what's in the future for me, whether I end up on a pedestal, I just don't know. But that's their achievement.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can let them down by not doing it as you should, but it is teamwork really, but it's their doing.
So you said this Gordon Higgins book on the side of angels.
Mm.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to read a really good book recommended by James, On the Side of Angel, Gordon Higgins, get a copy and have a good read. And obviously enlighten James as well. I'm definitely going to have a look at it because knowledge is learning and things is always good to learn something new or a different perspective. So you talked about your guides, which is really interesting. So talk to me about how you found your spirit guides or how your spirit guides work for you, because everybody has a different opinion of how they work for everybody.
Um, it took me a long time to grasp the development itself, and I just, how can I explain it? Sometimes you can smoke or you can drink and you can
Yeah,
block something, but no matter what it is, it'll still push itself through. And it started out with dreams, basically, when I was about 32. Started out with dreams, and it would get to the point where I would go to bed and I'd know that they were coming for me and that I was going to go to like some kind of school and I would just be learning these things.
yeah,
And it just got so regular, but it would get to the point where the dreams that I could meet somebody that I've not seen for 10 years. For
yeah,
example, a lad called Paul, I'd not seen him for many, many years. And in the dream, he said to me, he poked me in the back with some, I poked him in the back with something and said, "What are you doing?" Blah, blah. And then within a week or so, for example, I bumped into him and he poked me in the back and said, "What are you doing?" Everything to the word. So it was just all these things. And when them things start happening to you,
yeah,
you start to recognize something's happening. And
yeah,
then it just goes on from that. Um,
How did
as
you
for the
feel about
guy,
that? Was that
pardon?
scary for you? Was that scary for you?
No, because in a way you can enjoy it
Yeah.
because it's nice to know something's happening. A little bit scary well, no, not really.
Is it so?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so perhaps not scary. Is it at that age of 13 you're having? Is it more clarification for you that this is the right path from your young age of 16, reading all those books up to 30? It's clarification that this is the path for you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, at 32, I lost two businesses. I had my own business at 24 in Northwest London. I made a
Wow.
lot of money. You know, I could buy cars like I could buy shoes.
Yeah.
But so I never went into mediumship or into training or anything. I didn't actually go into a spirit church until I was about 36.
Okay.
Um, so when I was, so the guide is kind of in mediumship, you have a clairsentience,
Yeah.
and it's like asking what the capital of England is, and we know that it's London without even saying it. So there was something telling me, we're here, you know, you're a medium, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And I would sort of speak back in the mind and say, well, if I'm a medium, I need to know, I need to hear someone's name spoken. It needs to be confirmed. I need to, you know, it needs to be shown because I'm not going to sort of go forward and just, it's difficult to explain with regards to that. But
Yeah.
bit by bit, I was shown that I could, you know,
Yeah.
so what I was getting through the clairsentience was happening in day-to-day life. So
Yeah.
just weird little things. But I ended up doing meditation, a dissertation on meditation when I
Yeah.
went to university, which again progressed in the mediumship. So I mean, it's a whole book really. But the guides, I don't know who the guides are.
Right.
I
Okay.
have an I have an idea, but they are difficult to sort of say who they are because
Yeah.
I'd like to meet somebody who said to me, "This is your guide," and I'd be like, "Well, you know what? I think you're right," because that's
Yeah.
who I thought it was. Um, but they just push you on and push you on. But at the same time, they can also be very disappointed in you.
And how does that make you feel? Do you feel that that energy, or if you describe it as energy of when you do you know when they're disappointed in you? How does that make you feel?
Well, the thing with disappointment is, if you're smoking and you're drinking and you're partying, and you just don't want to be a medium,
Mm, mm,
you have just got better things to be doing.
yeah,
You know, the last thing you cared about is sitting there pulling some dead person through. With regards to in the beginning stages, because you don't really understand what it is.
yeah,
Um, so if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing year after year,
yeah.
and I don't know if it's Gordon Higginson on YouTube that says it. Oh, the Silver Birch books. Have you heard of the series of Silver Birch?
I haven't, no, James. I must admit.
Never.
No, you
Well,
see,
everything.
this is why my spiritual great because I learn a lot of things that I can educate myself on as well.
Well, the Silver Birch series is basically the Bible of mediumship.
Okay.
It is. I think it's Maurice Barbanel, um, Trance Circle,
Yeah.
and Silver Birch is the spirit that comes through the person in trance.
Right. I know about trance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And there's actually YouTubes on it as well. You can actually hear the trance
Yeah.
voice. And the stuff that's told in there. So basically, it says, and I read most of these even during it and before it.
Yeah.
It says, you know, mediums cannot do drugs. They can't be having sex willy nilly. They can't be doing. Not that I do that, but they
Yeah.
can't be doing what human beings do.
Right.
Because when you're a medium, you have a responsibility. You can't
Yeah.
go and have promiscuous sex and get yourself a disease.
Yeah.
Because if you're not healthy, you're no good to the spirit side. So
No.
you've got to be healthy. You can't. The reason you can't smoke and do drugs. I mean, I still smoke, and I haven't smoked. Generally, I don't smoke before a reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Generally, 90% of the time, I don't ever do that.
Yeah.
What were I getting to then? I've lost. When I'm speaking to somebody, I get cut off because there's always somebody trying to come in. We all know about clarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're going to be smoking cigarettes before a reading, you can still get something through. But I can assure you, you'll do a lot better for not smoking and have a clear mind.
So you because you said earlier about that you took vitamin C, you've looked after yourself with nutrients, and you're very conscious about, and you're saying that helps your mediumship and it progresses it forward.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm not saying that's essential because at the same time, I've smoked for 20 years and I've also eaten a lot of junk food. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, it's like what they've done. I mean, for example, Betty Shine,
Yeah.
um, from her books that I read, even practicing the healing, I used to see little blue lights in the corner, and she
Yeah.
said there will be a blue light there. You do an exercise, and she'll all of a sudden you'll read your belly will now start to rumble, and then it starts to rumble. So there's loads of exercises in these books, and it sort of gets you used to things. But the vitamin C and stuff, it's just about cleansing, because fasting, even if you go back to the prophets,
Yeah.
they would go to the cave and they would starve for many days
They would.
because they needed to do it to clear the way
Yeah.
for the connection. Now, vitamin C and things, it's not, I'm not saying it's necessary, but
No.
um, it's like when I read that book, it's we've done what we can for you. Vitamin C is something everyone should be taking because it is a wonder vitamin,
Yeah.
first of all. And it was only vitamins were only developed 10 years prior, so it would be 40 years ago. Vitamins have only been available for 40 years. So
Mm.
the generation that takes vitamins now and sticks to them, and you're not supposed to take them every day, well, you know what I mean? This generation has got a different
Yeah.
scientific look on vitamins and stuff. So
Yeah.
I suppose they know what they're doing with regards to looking after themselves. But
Yeah.
they're basically saying, we've looked after you, we've prepared you for this moment, and the responsibility of being a medium, like you say, it is huge.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. So moving, well, you said when you mentioned about Spiritualist Church, did you attend at 36? I think you said. So did you go to a Spiritualist Church, and do you still attend one now? And how did you find it? What was your thoughts and feelings on it?
In the beginning, I could be in a nightclub and somebody would start talking to me. Then I'd say something about their child or their partner, and I'd see
Yeah.
things moving around them. And I went to university at 33
Mm.
to study international relations, which is another weird one.
Yeah. Yeah. That is. Yeah.
Itself is international relations. I can get the certificate if you want me to get it, but
No, it's fine.
uh,
I totally believe
it-
you.
it's international relations and security studies, but it's international politics, which basically is
Right.
international security and terrorism.
I don't know how you fit it all in, James.
Yeah. But I failed the last year on that. I did the dissertation on ISIS, the transformation on ISIS, and I actually failed. And I knew I was going to fail because they came to me in my dream and said to me, "It's not going to happen," and then walked away.
Right.
And I woke up thinking, here we go again. They've come back, and I failed it. And I was so lucky to actually win the appeal and to get the to do it again another year, but get the normal grade. And I was watching Oprah Winfrey show, and she was talking about transcendental meditation, and it was about reducing violence and making a good society,
Yeah.
etc. So at the time, we had a lot of trouble in the British prisons with drugs and violence.
Yeah.
So with it being a security degree, I chose to how to reduce drugs and violence in prison with use of transcendental meditation. So
Yeah.
I did my dissertation on that, and obviously I was practicing that.
Mm.
So again, they were steering me to start meditating and actually study it,
Yeah.
as well as learning international relations, which is basically how the world works.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went on to do a master's after that for 2 years part-time.
Yeah.
So in Middle Eastern politics. So I know about murderous presidents that we've got,
Yeah.
all this genocide. So
Yeah.
I see a lot of famous, important people who have been very wicked people, some very
Yeah.
good people. It's a difficult world, isn't it, with regards to
It
the
is
whole
indeed.
globe.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. So going to a Spiritualist church, what was it like for you to attend? Did you enjoy the experience? Did it help you, or was it something? Or do you still go to them now, or are you not doing that? No.
I
No.
went to the first one. I was working as a care worker when I was when I was a student,
Yeah.
and I didn't qualify as a nurse when I was younger. I only made the first year.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went back into university, and I used to do care work with residents mainly on nights, and I
Yeah.
would start picking up things for the residents. So that was a little
Oh,
bit of
right.
practice. Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
went to the Spirit Church to practice. And the first time I went to the Spirit Church, I was too scared to speak. And there was something about somebody's grandson opposite, and I would get the name Tommy, and I could see this thing, and I just thought, I'm not saying anything. And somebody
Right.
said to me, "Have you got?" I said no, and I didn't say anything on the next one. And then I left it for a long time, and then I went back. I went to Blackpool Spirit Church,
Yeah.
and got names, the things, and just how you do it, and that was it.
Yeah.
I just went to Spirit Church to Spirit Church. I didn't go every week. I might have
Yeah.
gone once every 2 weeks or once a month because I was a bit
Yeah.
scared to will I be able to do that again? How did I do that? And now, just like that,
So
just do it.
when that time that you said you didn't have anything to say and you walked out that church, did you, when you're walking out that church, do you think to yourself, oh, I should have said something, I should have, or did you think, no, it wasn't the right time for me? What was your thought process? Because that's quite a big thing to have that information, but not to share it because of the fear of what people may think, or perhaps you weren't ready to divulge it. What was it like for you? Was that what it was, or was it something completely different?
You do feel guilty for things because one circle, there's a lady sat there with two sons. I said, the father's here to the boy next to you. It's not the father to the other one. He's saying he belongs to that one. It's something with his heart. And then other people can get funny about stuff like that. But also there was a lady there whose mama had, and somebody interrupted and they were getting funny about it in the circle. And then I'd lost her and she'd left the door. And I kind of run out for her to sort of see her and think, well, I've got your mummy. And then she drove off. So I felt guilty about not being fast enough with regards to that. But what you
Yeah,
do is you just pull the socks up and you just keep reading the next person,
yeah,
basically. But
yeah.
you can't take the guilt with you because it's not an easy thing to do.
No, no, of course not. And with in what you do as well, there's going to be a lot of guilt at times. But like you said, you have to move forward as well. So, you said you were a carer because I used to be a carer as well. I used to look after people with dementia in care homes. I was a carer, so you must have a very caring nature about you, which is obvious because otherwise you wouldn't have been nursing or being a carer. Do you find having that caring in nature? Do your emotions take over your readings when you do them?
No, sometimes you can get a little bit sad, but I don't get emotional. And some
Mm.
mediums, they say, oh, I'm sorry about your loss. I don't really have time to say that.
Yeah.
You
Is it,
know what I
and
mean?
yeah,
Because as far as I'm concerned, there is no loss because they stood behind me or they're
yeah,
connecting to me. So they haven't got lost. They're
yeah.
still here.
So that makes a really good point about when you're reading somebody, when you're doing a reading. Do you see them in your third eye, or they by you physically? Can you see them? How does it work for
Yeah,
you?
I've always been able to see them.
Yeah,
I don't think I can do it. It's very, very rare that I would do a reading and not see somebody.
right, okay. And does that help
Yeah.
you? Do they speak to you, or are they showing you signs?
Yeah, well, this is the thing with the smoking. I did about 50 circles basically in the beginning and I stopped smoke. In the very beginning, I would never go to a circle and smoke I would stop 2 days prior. I would
Yeah,
always prepare myself for that strength because
mm,
it does strengthen it up. Now I can just have a smoke and do it, but I'm still trying to get back to my old self. I stopped for 2 months once in the
yeah,
very beginning, and I went to the circles, and I couldn't. The way that I could hear them
yeah.
was like Doris Stokes. Basically, they're just saying the names inside my ear. I didn't
Wow.
even have to struggle. Usually, it's like somebody shouting from the street
Yeah,
and you can barely hear it, but you can just hear somebody shouting down the street. It's like you're sat in the house, somebody outside calling, and you can hear it a little bit. So the clairaudience as well comes from a lot to do with smoking because Gordon Higginson said the same thing on his YouTubes. When you
yeah,
smoke, you ruin the throat, which is the
yeah,
voice box, and
yeah,
the spirits use your voice box to be heard.
yeah. That's
So I
really
understand that.
yeah, yeah. And I suppose, like you said, if you're going to do that, you have to prepare beforehand. Um, so do you No, I've watched you live, which is really interesting for me because when I first saw you, this is you're quite a character in my books because you're wearing a woolly hat, you're laying on your sofa,
Well,
you got
yeah. Well,
you got your tarot cards here. It's quite a unique way of doing things. So, do you tarot card readings? Do you still do them, or is it? Do you do that? Did you use them to help you to read, or what do you use your
no.
tarot cards for?
I don't do tarot card. It's not something I would. In the beginning, it was all mediumship. I did a little tarot card in the Spirit Church as part of a practice, and
Yeah,
telling both ladies that I'm seeing flowers on the card. You must. I'm seeing you buying flowers, and they're saying, "Well, was it the flower shop yesterday? We were buying flowers." Something about so even off cards, you can still pick things, and a lot of it's to do with the card that you select. But the mediumship itself is easy. The tarot, the psychic stuff. For example, yesterday I
yeah,
did a reading for her, and it was about her partner. It was about her granddad come through on the father's side, and so you can mix it with the spiritual side as well. Because I couldn't
right,
imagine doing tarot card and not getting somebody through as well.
yeah, okay,
But so you can pick up on it and use it, but you've also got to tell somebody, your partner's a fireman, or your partner's name, or this, so they know then that you're getting the right evidence to go with the right stuff with the cards. But the psychic stuff doesn't really interest me, to be honest.
No, right, just the medium. So do you call
The
yourself?
medium is easy.
Yeah. So so are you a psychic medium or just a medium?
Well, a medium is just naturally a psychic.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah, because you don't like to use labels, I don't think, do you? Really, you're not a label type of person, are you?
I prefer to be called medium, James Bucknell, but not. You
Yeah.
have to put psychic there for the keywords.
Yeah. No, this is yeah. I understand it because people read the word psychic, then yeah, I understand it
Yeah.
completely. So this is 13. Is it 13, 14 years you've been doing mediumship for now?
No,
Longer.
about 3 years, 4 years. I didn't really take it up to a long time. I
Okay.
just kept ignoring it.
Yeah.
The thing with the messages, like if you read all the philosophy, especially Silver Birch, it's basically saying you are a medium. You selected to be a medium. You are chosen to be the medium,
Yeah.
and you are going to be the medium.
Yeah.
If you think you are not going to be that medium, and we've put all the effort into doing this, then think again, because your life will not go right until
Yeah.
you abide by this contract.
Yeah.
And until you do, nothing will go right for you until you do. And my life has been a bit hectic like that. And
Yeah.
so the more I give in to that, the better
Yeah.
things go. But
Yeah.
going back to the hat and things and
Yeah.
and hiding myself, before TikTok a couple of weeks ago, before I came onto it, I was going to wear a mask.
Really?
The hat itself, I mean, I was going to put sunglasses on, just keep the hat on. I don't like going outside and people seeing it's me.
Right.
Because
Okay.
where I live, when I first came here, I did the spirit churches here. I've also
Ah.
worked in the
Right.
care homes here.
Yeah.
I've read them all, the care
Yeah.
homes who I work with, all the people that work there.
Yeah.
They all live local and things. There's people
Right.
had readings, there's people got recordings of me. There's a girl down the street.
Yeah.
I told her her granddad was called Michael and he's got cancer and he's about to die. She
Yeah.
said, that's correct. She's got it all. And so they go through all the family then.
Yeah. 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 No, totally.
You know,
Yeah, I
the
understand
recording.
that. Yeah. So
So I don't like going out in public and then people see you because some don't like it.
I like the hat. I thought it was cool, to be quite frank. I thought it was
No,
very.
I don't mean the hat. I'm on about if I go out without the hat on or without glasses on or whatever else, I'd like to basically cover myself up with a
Right.
pillowcase if I could.
Because you recognise, then you get people walking up to you.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd like to put sunglasses on or just a full mask and just literally do the readings.
Yeah. 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 So if
Yeah,
you're
nobody
so
needs to see me to get people on.
yeah. So because of you have spirit coming to you a lot. If you're in a room of people, how do you close off from all this bombardment of people want to talk? How do you do that? How do you stop people from talking to you?
Well, it just doesn't come to you. Sometimes it does. Like as I'm talking to you now, I've not had anybody.
Right. Okay.
And just then, but when you're asking that question, then I'm thinking, are they living or what? Because I'm not getting them. And I'm
That's
like
okay.
trying to step into it, but
Yeah.
you just train yourself into doing that. But
Yeah.
John Edward can explain a lot to do with that. But John Edward says the same thing about radio.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go on TV. Like I said about showing your face, he
Yeah.
never wanted to do TV.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, because not everyone thinks it's real, do they?
No, no. As you know, on TikTok platform, you are open to the trolls and negative people, and someone you can have a conversation with them, but they don't want to listen anyway. Their opinion is their opinion. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and not everybody's going to agree on everything. This is what the world we live in, but they should be able to respect what you do, and they should be able to understand that's what you do, and this is why you do it, not badger people. So you're very passionate. I'm going to use the word passionate about. Now, this is the expression you use because I did a little bit of looking up. Freedoms. The word freedoms. Now, this is because you're very passionate about this. And
Media.
is it Fediums? Fediums, yeah, Fediums. So now the Fediums for you, and if I get it, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure you will. Fediums are fake mediums that basically. Hang on, give me 1 minute. There's a really interesting quote because you're basically saying is that if you're a good medium and you can do your job well, there's no reason why you can't, with permission, put recordings on your Facebook or wherever platform you're on to show how you work. Correct? That's what you're saying, isn't it? So, freedoms. If I read, this is what James has got written on his Facebook, and he's very passionate about this, and he believes this. So, freedoms are
Can I
fake.
just mention?
Yeah,
Go on.
sorry.
I just
There you go.
want to say that Facebook that you're talking about.
Mm.
I can't get. I'm locked out of that. I can't get into that. I've lost
Oh,
the
okay.
password.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave up mediumship at that point. I left it. I left it. I didn't want to go back to it.
Oh yeah, I
I
know that
locked
completely.
myself
Yes.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
locked myself out. I had enough of it. I couldn't stand it no more.
Yeah.
And I changed the password. And I thought, you know what? Leave a statement behind and
Yeah.
just go get a job and let them
Yeah.
all go find somebody else to do it.
Yeah. But on your Facebook, but honestly, from my point of view, you've put there's you doing mediumship work with people who've agreed for it to be online, isn't it? Which is nice to see because you're putting yourself out
Volunteering.
there. Pardon? Yeah.
The recorded readings, but I did them for 3 years. You know, there's
Yeah. Yeah.
hundreds that know.
Yeah, yeah, but so mediums, as you call it, are people basically that are praying, aren't real mediums, or charging money, and really, in some respects, if you are a good medium, like you said, put it online, show the people what you can do. If you have the mission, is that still right for what you how you feel about it,
Um,
or is your perspective changed on that now?
well, mediumship itself is a miracle.
Yeah,
If you can get them details through for people, I mean, the reading that I did before here, I don't know if
yeah,
she's watching here on this thing. She had a mum with her in the
yeah,
background, and she didn't think I knew. I said, your grandma's here showing me something about her child. Is your mum sat there at the side?" She said, "Yeah." I said,
yeah,
"Well, I'm seeing a cross on the neck, a tattoo of a cross on the neck." She
yeah,
turned the phone around, and the mum had a tattoo of a cross on her neck. So
mm,
her mum, seeing that. So if you can record these things and show
yeah,
people these things,
yeah,
you are doing, because it's okay saying, well, individuals can talk about their own readings and someone's got 1,000 reviews. And I know it's like putting people down, but as far as I'm concerned, um, the only thing that mediums can do in 2021, it's not 1990. And Gordon Higginson, who's
yeah,
dead many years ago, Doris Stokes, dead many years ago, she's got videos of her doing mediumship online. Not all readings are personal. Some things are just,
yeah,
I've got Betty the grandma who died at 99, that kind of thing.
yeah,
So it's only fair for the mediums to put the flames out for the fake mediums is
yeah,
those that record and show their portfolio of
yeah,
recorded readings are showing you their professionalism, etc. If you
yeah.
are going to choose to go to a medium who doesn't have
Oh no. Sorry,
right,
James, I
sorry
lost you
about
there
that.
for
The
a minute.
battery's going to go soon.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's basically like this. It's as
Yeah.
simple as this. Would you go buy a car just because somebody sells cars? You want to see the cars that they're selling.
Of course you do. Yeah, it's about exactly. Yeah,
And
anything.
many
Yeah,
of them are just making excuses up for themselves. So, but to be honest, and it's very, very recently I've thought like this, I've really got to pull myself back.
yeah,
Because Maureen Hancock said to me, she's a famous medium in America. She's been on television,
yeah,
on the Ricky Lake show.
yeah,
She's got her own TV series. She said to me in a private email, she said, "I've been watching you." She said, "I will help you. I'm going to mention you to my people." She said, "You need to charge $75 and stop charging £20 and £11." She said, "You need to
yeah.
stop that straight away."
Wow.
She said, "Think of yourself." And she said, "You're the real deal. We need to get you out there. You need to be helping people." And she's got videos all over
Yes, she
YouTube
has.
and
Yeah.
things. So why should so many mediums have portfolios for everyone else to ride on the back of?
Exactly. But like
And
you said,
and the
yeah,
fact is, if you are a medium and you can do that, then record it and show it, because I think we both know what the reasons why are.
yeah. No,
And I
totally
don't see
agree
why
with
I
that.
should have to side with them.
Yeah, and like I said, you're very passionate about that, and I completely understand that because and from other people, mediums' point of views, it must be really irritating to get tarred with the brush sometimes. But so for mediumship for you, would you say the devil's in the detail when you're doing a reading, as in the person you're reading?
What do you mean? I mean, accurate
As in
details.
the devil's. So if you're reading somebody, giving somebody a reading, the devil, when you're reading for them, it's about the little things that maybe they only know or that you can see that they could only really respond with. Because some readings can be
Well,
so
well,
generalised that some people do really
well,
generalised readings.
the live readings that I do on my TikTok,
Yeah,
I've got them all on my phone
yeah, I've seen
because
them. Yeah,
it downloads on your phone, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I've got loads of readings in there. There's one
yeah,
guy, the recent one, a guy came on, and I've got a friend or a brother. I've got Tony, 49, murdered on the floor.
yeah,
Something about
yeah,
Peters. His brother was called Tony. 49 outside St. Peter's Church, which is on
yeah,
live.
yeah,
So that's the devil's details.
That's
It
the
doesn't come
detail.
much
That's what I'm
deeper than
talking
that.
about. Yeah, yeah,
Then you can move on because you've got to identify the person first, and then you can give the messages.
yeah. But like you said, when you watch other mediums who don't go into that specific detail, which is quite exact, would you say they're not mediums, or would you say that they're not attuned
Well,
properly?
some can still make it look good by finding details out, but I love TikTok because it doesn't have personal information.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, yeah,
I love TikTok. I don't think I'll ever go back on Facebook for a long time.
yeah,
Facebook didn't do it for me. Um, there's a lot of people that have been going for many, many, many years, and they seem to have all the followers. And
yeah,
to be truthful, I don't know any It's very rare for a medium to actually do live on-screen readings.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Not
yeah.
many that do it. Most of them just, are at the script, which is fine. I'm not putting anyone else down,
No,
but I
no.
have to make sure I get out there as best I can.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's the way you work as well, and that's the way you feel most comfortable working. But if I'm right in saying that, you're very passionate about what you do, and when you watch other people who obviously are scamming people, it's wrong. I think there was a good point you made about is it phone text lines and things like that.
Well, text message services.
I mean, that's just crazy. That is crazy, even in my mind. I don't know how anybody could do that because you got to have a connection, haven't you?
Well, like Lillian, for example, I know I shouldn't mention names, but the supporters fees, it's going to make people want to
Yeah,
be fake news just to make the money. It's attracting the wrong kind of people to do it as well,
yeah,
because for example, she had about 8,000 followers, supporters, sorry, paying £3.50. She's making £30,000 a month. She's
wow,
making nearly £250,000 a year. She's been doing
yeah,
that for 3 years. She's absolutely minted.
yeah,
So, but the way that she does a reading online,
yeah.
she actually stands there talking to the spirit, like she's talking, like we're talking, and just says something to the screen. If she's that good, because she's
Yeah,
making out she's the best in the world, that's the way
yeah,
she does it. But I've never seen any mediumship come from it. I've never seen her actually doing a reading with somebody where we can actually watch what's going on back and forth. I've never
yeah,
seen it. So, but also, there's never been a medium like me show up and say, you know what, you lot, this is not happening. Because Tony Stockwell and Gordon Smith don't seem to say anything. You don't even
yeah,
see them do a live anyway because they're so established,
yeah,
so busy making thousands in theatres, because 1,000 people in an audience at £10 a ticket is 10 grand, 20 grand a night.
yeah,
So they're making more than Lillian. But they're not too bothered about the lives. They're not going to give free readings out because people won't go to their audiences.
yeah,
So in the UK especially, I'm the only medium that actually does live readings, recorded readings, and shouts out and protects mediumship.
yeah.
And they've got shock, basically.
And I've seen that on what I've seen on your. I know the Facebook page is closed, but you put yourself out there on Facebook. There's readings on there that you've done, and I've watched some of them. They're really, really interesting. I've seen you live on TikTok doing your readings as well. But it's one of those communities. Do you feel it's one of those communities that is savage in some ways? It can be quite savage in the community of mediumship amongst their people and how they treat other people. But do you find what's the word I'm looking for? Is so when you do a reading, for you personally, James, if you're doing a reading over line, Zoomer, is it you have to have that connection with the person you're reading? Is that what you're saying? It's really important.
Yeah, well, I'm basically internet trained. I only did about 50 readings. I
Yeah,
used to have loads of journals. I only went to the churches scattered. Basically, the churches did. I would go do a reading. The president of the church, who would call themselves a medium, I would basically be the best
yeah,
in the circle. Nobody could read like me in them circles, and that's not my problem.
yeah,
So I'm going just to do my work. And if they don't, obviously they mistreat me, they didn't want me to be there, they would actually call me things and say, you're not a psychic, blah, blah, blah. They would actually make me hold everyone's hand, so I would get too much information. They would psychometrize things, they would
yeah,
mix things up. Looking back, I can see what they did. But I'm able to stand tall now and speak of them.
yeah,
So that's my own back.
yeah,
But with regards to, what was I going to get to? How I started coming into the mediumship world is this.
yeah,
A few years ago, I started. I was still at university. I was reading lecturers at university, etc. And then I started reading people at work, and I went to the church to start off. Was no welcome. people would say in front of me, "Oh, so-and-so, Karen so-and-so is going to be doing some readings for £10 a reading next week. Who wants them?" I used to contact, the Odd Spirit Church did contact me and want me to go do a demonstration, the odd one. But I wasn't developed enough for demonstration on platform. You've got to do plenty of one-to-ones.
Yeah.
So basically, I put myself in the newspaper thinking I was going to get loads of bookings. I thought, well, I'm really, really good at this. Nobody, I'm like them on the television.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I went onto the internet, started doing messenger readings. I did readings through Messenger, just as good as I can do them in person. Then I went online with Skype and telephone, etc. Like watch Thomas John, that I'll do telephone like him and see if it works for me. And I can honestly say, in 3 years, the first year I might have made £70 in 1 month, maybe £80 a month after, maybe 150 1 month in that year. The second year, has it unfroze yet?
Yeah, it has. Sorry, Kim.
My face just goes ugly looking things, doesn't it? So it was only this year that I actually made £300 this year. Wow. In 1 month. And that's what I'm saying about it. This is exactly what I'm saying about it.
Yeah.
I've had jobs in between. I've left my jobs to come back into the mediumship thing because I think it's changing. When a real medium can go like, and I've had 3 YouTube channels, I've had 3 Facebook channels. You get your Facebook removed. Chris Riley will tell his followers, they report your Facebook, you lose your Facebook. You've got 1,500, 2,000, you've lost it. You've got to start again. You've got 100 videos on YouTube. No one's even viewing them. No one's even looking. You delete the channel, you get rid of it. You do it again, you get rid of it. You do it again, you get rid of it. That's what it's been like for 3 years. No one's really interested. There's that many psychics out there. No one even knows you're there.
Yeah.
Started to make a bit of a surface now, but to be a real medium and to not even make a wage is an absolute disgusting. Because last year I moved into this property just before the pandemic. I've bought PCs for the work. I've even smashed computers so I can't go on the computer and do readings again. I got rid of the last Facebook, like you spoke about. I didn't want to do it again because it's just abuse. I came into this flat with no carpets, no cooker, no fridge, no bed, no nothing. And I sat with a laptop in the freezing cold doing readings. And when you're watching people making thousands of pounds who are not mediums, I can't help but scream, you better start recording your work and showing people, because the real mediums, especially if I can't get through and I'm loud and outspoken, God help the world, because the other mediums that are about to surface will not get through. They will not get through for the greedy fakes.
But basically saying you put yourself out there on a platform, and you're saying, this is me. I've got the videos up. You do it as well, and prove to the world what you can do. I'm doing it, so why can't you? Is that what you're saying?
I've no choice but to do it, and this is the difficult part of it. But when you can't even make I've been to university for 6 years. I've also studied Arabic. I wanted to work for MI5. Now I used to live in Egypt as well. But when you cannot make a wage and you're a real medium, and you see fake mediums like Deborah Davis, who's living in a millionaire house, who another one getting £5,000, £6,000 a month for supporters fees, it's very sickening, because these people that are going to these mediums think they're getting guidance. They're not. They're getting bad luck. So it's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And I said to my mum the other month, it's broken my heart, Mum, what's happened to me in 3 years. I've never lived so. I had my own businesses before. I've always worked. I didn't even work for the mediumship. I gave it my all. And the churches turn their back on you. And then all of a sudden you think to yourself, do you know what? The spirit world has left me with no carpets, no fridge, no cooker, no nothing. And all I've done is read for people. I've done all these free readings and the abuse from that. But I've learned now, and it's going to change. There's no free readings from me whatsoever at this point. And I'm just totally blunt, and I want the lot. I know that sounds really bad, but I'm not going to be a medium for now and make £2 a day. I want the money from it as well. That's available.
Yeah, exactly. But this is because this is your spiritual journey. This is how you feel about things. Everybody coming and does this. It's about their opinion, their beliefs. Not everybody will agree with what you said, but that's the world we live in. It's about what you feel and how you think, and this is how you move in the minute. So going forward, James, where do you see yourself going forward now in the mediumship? What would you like to do?
I'd love. Don't get me wrong. There is really strange things that happen, even though sometimes you suffer. And that's also about the smoking and stuff. It's about until you surrender, that's the word. You've got to surrender. And when you do surrender and become the monk, basically, we'll take care of things.
Yeah.
I would like to keep building my reputation up as a medium.
Yeah.
Start getting a bit more booked ahead. I've been doing a lot better on TikTok, a lot better on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go live in Spain, New
Yeah.
York, or even Brazil, and
Yeah.
just do readings on the internet. And I used to live in Egypt before, and
Yeah.
£70 for a month rent is a 3-bedroom villa with a swimming pool.
Yeah.
I could go to, well, even Brazil is cheap like that. I could live in Brazil for £1,000 for 1 year's rent and have a
Right.
swimming pool and just work
Yeah.
from the internet. I don't
Yeah.
need to pay £500 a month rent and live in England.
No.
Do you know
No.
what I mean? I could go just
And is that what the
wherever I
future
want.
holds? You think that that's where you're heading? That's what you want to try and drive towards?
I'd like to just work on the internet like I do anyway in England.
Yeah. So with your guides, just going back to spirit guides really quickly, how many do you have? Do you have a number, or do you know, or
My phone might go off, so if it does, I'll have to apologise for that.
that's
But
okay?
quick, there's a bit of a debate about mediums on that side. Basically, when I do a reading and I open up,
Yeah.
and it's not forced to be the spirit that's coming to me, it's also a medium at the other side. It can
Right.
also be a medium and two mediums, one at this side, one at that side. I'm
Yeah.
giving the person the information at this side. There's a medium giving me the information from that person at that side. It's not
Right.
always the case. But the
Yeah.
guides, it's not important to know who the guides are. Don't
Yeah.
worry about the guides. If I go to a spirit circle, sometimes I've not connected to the people in the circle, but the guides will say to me,
Yeah.
she's having a baby boy over there. He's lost his father over there, and she's had something happen to her over there. So they'll prepare me in the beginning, especially in the early stages.
Right.
The guides will come to you like a spirit and just tell you about people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they just
Yeah.
prepare you basically and just help you towards it.
Yeah. Fantastic. So James, I know your phone's about to die in a minute, isn't it? It's going to get there.
Yeah.
So what we do is I like to do the top 10 of things you do and don't believe in. So I have a list of top 10 things. I'm going to ask you a few things, and I want to get your opinion on if you believe them or you don't believe them. Is that okay to do that with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question: do you believe in demons?
Humans, yeah.
Humans. How about spirit
But
demons?
I think well, you can have angelic people, you can have demonic people.
Okay. So you believe in those, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in fairies? Do you believe in fairies?
No.
No. Okay. Why not? Do you think it's
I do believe in demons again, because if you believe in angels and demons, yeah, I do
yeah.
believe in that.
Okay.
On
But
this
fairies,
level, it exists.
yeah.
Fairies, yeah. No, not really.
No, not really. That's
Not
okay.
really.
No, this is your top 10. This is what you do and don't believe in. It's just nice to get a perspective of why you don't believe or why you do. Do you believe in Atlantis? Do you think Atlantis existed?
Who?
Atlantis. You remember Atlantis, the world that fell into the sea? Do you remember that Atlantis fell into the sea?
Don't know what that is.
That's okay. Ley lines. Do you believe in ley lines? The energy lines that go around.
For what? For water. I believe in something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe in angels?
Yeah.
Do you have any angels? Do you have any angels that look over you?
There's a few things happened with it. I once woke up and saw a red light kind of sparking in the corner once when I went to, that was in Egypt. But the thing with the angels is I address angels in the reading. I
Oh, right.
say, dear angels, protect me, blah blah. Dear guides, do whatever. And dear spirits, let's get ready, so to speak. So
Okay.
because the spirits come forward, I do
Yeah.
believe in the angels.
Do you
But
think they work together?
angels basically wouldn't get to this level.
Right. Okay. Oh no.
Circulate around here, but
Yeah.
angels don't get down to this level because they're too powerful. They wouldn't be able to make it on this level. It's too. I don't believe they could get here.
Right. Okay. Do you believe
They can
in?
sort of communicate through, but won't be able to come.
Yeah,
Go on.
but they can't actually come down to this plane. They have to communicate through. Okay.
The vibration wouldn't do it.
Right. Do you believe in voodoo?
Betty Shine taught me about witchcraft when I used to read a lot of that, and it's basically as a medium, I don't believe anyone could do me voodoo because my guides would do voodoo back. But because
Right.
they have to be doing something, because if they let somebody do a voodoo on me, then they've got no medium. But
Yeah.
whatever you do comes back to you. So no, there's no spells on somebody thinking it ain't going to come back. Simple as
Right.
that. And I don't believe somebody has the power to do that. No.
Just because just quickly on the whole witchcraft thing, I saw you the other night on live, talking about
Yeah.
bells and jars, and you know I was going to ask you this question because What's your feelings on those sort of things? Because you said somebody charged £150 for a spell in the
Caroline
jar.
Snow.
What's your
Yeah.
feelings on that?
Well, I'm not concerned if someone calls themselves a witch. That's not my territory. But when they're
Yeah,
calling themselves psychic mediums and telling spells, psychic mediums don't sell spells.
yeah, okay, yeah,
And it's basically just a con. So if anyone thinks they can buy a spell and something's going to happen for them, then it's sad, really, isn't it?
yeah. And it's quite a lot of money. You
It's
said it's
sad.
£150, something like that.
Yeah, and again, she's got supporters fees. She's got over 1,500 supporters, so she's on about £4 a month just from supporters fees. You've got to be a supporter to get the good luck as well from her. So
Yeah,
I don't know who she thinks she is, offering people protection from bad health, offering them good luck. Does anyone believe that somebody has that kind of ability to do that? And what purpose would it serve? Because
mm.
everybody, creates their own karma.
Yeah. And you're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in past lives, James?
Not right concerned with past lives. I don't understand why people want to know about regression, but I know the Buddhist said it's no point thinking backwards because you might as well think back to the 66,000 lives that you had. So I do believe we evolve into different
Yeah.
lives, but yeah,
Okay. So evolving different lives. Okay. Do you believe in
yeah.
star seeds? You heard about star seeds?
Empaths and things.
Yeah, like a higher being that came down. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. A higher being, you said, that came down.
Well, people could think that a natural medium who's showing it all on live is
Mm.
higher being and stuff, but I don't think anyone is that higher than anyone else. When
Yeah.
I'm out and about, I don't go outside and think, oh, I'm a medium, or go to work and think I'm a medium. It doesn't
Yeah.
enter my brain.
No. Yeah. You mentioned Wicca, and you said you. So, do you believe in Wicca as a holistic way of life, or do you believe in it?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
No.
Um,
But again, with the medium thing, if I tell people that I'm a medium and that's why I record the work, it's
yeah.
embarrassing to say to somebody, oh, I speak to dead people, because honestly, they look at you like you're stupid. So it's not about this big thing, oh, I'm a medium, blah, blah, blah. You've
Yeah.
got to show people that you're a medium, haven't you? Because
Yeah.
or do
Yeah.
something with it.
So yeah, and like I said, on your now Alex Facebook page, there is, if you go and search James on Facebook, you will see him doing medium recordings, which he's asked permission to do, and you can see how he works. And like, how many mediums can actually claim that they do that?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if people do that, if they can get the permission to do that. Like you said, that people need to see how people work, because it's very well easily doing that across face to face, but you need to see the evidence that people how they do it. So the last question, the top 10 of things you do and don't believe. This is going to be a bit far fetched, James, but I like your opinion of it. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
The
good
animals.
man. And that's my
Yeah,
favourite
because
one.
there's whales, I think, the animals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, James, that was your top 10 of I do and don't believe. You scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 yeses and 4 no's and one in between on Laylight, on Atlantis. So, James, thank you so much for coming on tonight
Well,
and talking.
thank
Are
you.
you happy to answer some questions, or would you? You don't have to if you don't want to. It's really up to you.
To be honest, I'd rather say thank you and goodbye because this phone's going to go off. That's why it froze twice. It's 20% and 10%. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, James, before you go, please let the people know. If you're not following me, please follow James, because he needs some more. He's got followers on TikTok. Go watch what he does. If you're over James, please follow me. James, tell the people what you're up to, where they can find you, and what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, I've no readings for a couple of weeks. Readings are £25. They are going up £5 a month. I do live every night at 10 o'clock. I've not smoked today, so I'm going to do a live at 10 o'clock or
Okay.
even later tonight. Get people on screen. But what I've noticed as well, a lot of